Okay, so good morning, everyone. Okay, so is my screen visible, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, great. So today we will start a new topic, which is working with model class, right? Or more specifically, we can say working with database. Okay. So as we know, Django follow one architecture, which is MVT, right? So MVT means model view template, right? So we have already studied about views and templates. So today we have to learn about the model. Okay. So what is the mean of model? Model you can consider as database, right? View you can consider as, we can say, Python logics, okay? And the template we can consider as HTML files, right? So let's understand the model in details, right? So for example, let me search here facebook.com. Okay, so on facebook.com we have two things. One is login form and another is create a new account. When you are the new user of the Facebook, you don't have any account. That time what we will do, we will create the account. So we will sign up. Okay, so when you will create an account, you will see this Facebook page, right? So we will see this Facebook page. Okay, so whenever user is entering any data, for example, user entering what? Username, first name, surname, okay, date of birth information, gender information, okay, like that he is entering. So all the data, all the information should be stored inside what? Inside a database. Why it should store inside the database? Why do we require database here in this case? Because once the account has been created, after creating the account, user can log in again and again. So if user will log in again and again, means we need to save the user information in database permanently. So this is what database. Okay. So what we have to do, these all information, okay, is all information, whatever the information we have, we have to collect these all information from the sign up form or create a new account form, and this all information we have to store inside what, inside the database, right? So whenever we want to store the information permanently, that time we require database, right? Or if you want to store the data permanently, you can use the file system, but that is the old technology. But right now the new technology is storing the data into the database, right? So let's see how to write the code which through we can store the data into the database. Let's understand. Okay, so now let's understand few more things about the model. Okay, so in Python basically, like whenever we want to store the information permanently, so we need to create the database. Okay, so Python, I mean Django by default have one data type, one database which is SQLite. Okay. SQLite database by default provided by the Django, right? So whenever you will create the Django project, so this SQLite database will come by default. Okay. So what language understand by the database? Basically, database understand the structure query language, which is nothing but SQL. So the language which commonly understand by the all the databases, that is SQL, structure query language. Okay, am I audible, guys?
Yeah, but it's breaking every now and then.
Okay, still is it breaking?
Yeah, it's not clear.
Okay, please confirm now. Is it fine now? Oh,
Yeah, now it's fine.
all right. So what I was saying, the language which is commonly understood by the database, which is SQL. Okay, that is nothing but structure query language. Okay, so the structure query language understand by the databases. So this is nothing but our database. So this is which database? The database which one provided by the Django. So Django provide one default database which is SQLite. Okay, so SQLite database or any database understand one common language which is SQL. Okay, structure query language. Okay, so in Python, what we do, we don't write SQL code. Okay, for example, I have to create, I have to create a student table. For example, if I want to create a student table, so what I will do, I'll create the student model. Okay, so here what I will do, here I will create model class, model.py file. Let's suppose this is what models.py file. Okay, so in this models.py file, I will write the student table code. Let's suppose I have to store the student's information. So what I will do, I will create the student model, right? So this student model is nothing but I will write this student model in which code? In Python code. Okay, because as you can see here also, this is models.py file. If it is py file means it will contain the Python code. So this student model is nothing but written in Python. But this Python language cannot be understood by the database. Whatever Python code you are writing, that code will not be understood by the database. Right? So it won't be understood by the database. So what we need to do, we need a translator which can translate our Python code, Python model code into the SQL code. Right. So what I will do here, we are having two things. We are having two things. One is first one is make migration command, right? And the second thing we have migrate command. Okay, so what's the mean of make migration? Make migration means it will convert. For example, when you are converting your Python model, when you are converting your Python model into SQL code, so that is we will do with the help of migration command, make migration. So here what we will write, here we will write py nh, okay, we will write here make migrations. We will take the help of migration command which will convert our Python model code into what? Relevant SQL code. Okay. So after converting this Python code into the SQL code, I have to store that SQL code into the database. So see, SQL code can be understood by the database, but when you will write the make migration commands, means your Python code will be translated into the SQL code. Now what we have to do, we have to execute that translated SQL code, right? So in order to execute that translated SQL code, we need to write one more command which is migration, right? So we will write one more command which is migration. After 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 running the make migration command, we will execute the migrate. Okay. So once you will execute the migration command, you can see the student table. You will get a table because in the relational database SQLite, it store the data in the form of row and column, or we can say in the form of table. Okay, so data is stored in the form of table in the database. Okay, okay, so let's try to understand here. So we have models.py, py5. Okay, and what we have to do with this, we will translate this into the SQL. So when we convert our table into SQL, so how it will look like. So this is what SQL. So whenever we write the model code, so what we write, basically we create the model class. Okay, so we create the model class. So how to create the model class? We write the class. Okay, and let's suppose we are creating a student class, so we will write the student. Okay, so this student class should be the child class of the model class, right? So it should be the child class of the model class. So model is the parent class. So where this, so this is the model is the parent class, but where this model class is available. So it is available inside one package which is models dot model. So models is the package name and the model is the class name. Okay, so this is the parent class. Whenever we create the any model, so we need to inherit this model class. Okay, now in this class, what I'm trying to create, trying to create here name. Okay, name field, and after that I want to create, let's suppose, roll number. Okay, so what I will write here I will write name is equals to models dot character field. Okay, and here I will give max length is equals to 40, something like that I will write. Okay, and for the roll number, what I will write, for the roll number I will write models dot integer. Okay, integer, and this will be capital C, because this is the classes, and class name always start from the capital. So this will be the integer field, right? Okay, so this is how what we are doing. We are creating this model class, right? Now what we have to do, basically we have to convert this Python code. So this class and everything, this is what the Python code. Okay, so we have to convert this Python code into SQL code. Why we are converting this Python code into the structure query language, into the SQL, so that database can understand. So that is why we have to write here, we have to run here one command which is py manage.py make migration. Okay, so this is the command which we need to execute. Okay, so this is the command we need to execute whenever we want to translate the. So we will write here migrations. Okay, so this migration will convert it into what, SQL. So how it will look like after converting? So what we are doing here, basically we are creating the table. So in SQL we write the code something like this: create create table. Okay, and after that what we write, table name. So table name is what, student, right? And after that we write the fields. Okay, so what are the fields we have? We have name field, right? And we have roll number. Okay, and also we mention what, data types. So how we mention, let's see once. SQL code table. So we write something like this. Okay, so we write the code in SQL like this. Okay, so create table is the command, and after that we write the table name, right? And here this is the field name. Field is nothing but a column. Okay, so column name is what? Name. And the type is what? Text. Okay, and student ID, which is what? Integer. Right? And this is what? A primary. So like that, this code will be converted into what? SQL code. So it will be like name. Name will be what? Name will be text. You can say name is what? Text. And after that, we have roll number. So we can say roll number will be integer. So this will be integer. Okay, I'm not saying this is the primary key. Okay, this is not the primary key. So whenever you will translate your Python model, whenever you will translate your Python model into what? SQL code, by default, automatically it will add here one extra column. It will add one extra column which is ID, which what's the name of that extra column? That is known as ID. So in every model, by default, Django add this ID. Okay, and this ID is what type? This ID is integer type. Okay, and this is also a primary key. Okay, so what is the mean of primary key? Primary key means it should be unique. Okay, it should be unique and there should not be any duplicate entry in it. Okay, so primary key must be unique for each record. Okay, and after that, once we are converted our code, so this code can be understood by the database. So what we will do, we will further translate, further we will execute, because we don't need to translate it more, because this code directly can understand by the database. Okay, so let's suppose this is the database. Okay, so in this database, once you will execute it, once you will execute this SQL code, so it will create one student table. Okay, it will create one student table into the database, right? So in order to execute it, we need to write one more command. That command name is migrate. So py manage.py migrate. What we will write? Py manage.py migrate. So this, after writing this migrate command, this code will be executed. This SQL code will be executed, right? And in this database, we will see our table. Okay, so what is the table name? What is our table name? Our table name is student. Our table name is student table. Okay, so this student table. So how many fields are there in this student table? So this student table, see, in when we are creating this model class, we have created two fields. One is name, one is roll number. Why we are creating two fields? So that we can store the student name permanently and we can store the student roll number permanently. Okay, now what type of data name can contain? Name should contain the character type of data. Okay, and what type of data roll number should contain? So it should contain integer type of data. So this particular Python code we have converted into what? SQL code. And how we have converted this into the SQL code? By following this command, make migration command. Okay. So once you are converting this code into the SQL, so the code structure will look like create table student, create table student. Okay, this is a table name, student is a table name, and here you will see two fields. One is name field and one is roll number field, which is as it is given in the model class. But here you will see one more extra field which is ID. Here you will see one more extra field which is ID, and the type of that ID will be integer, or we can say primary key. Okay, so it should be unique for each record. Each record is nothing but entry for each entry. Okay, so now in this, okay, so this code, this is the SQL code. So in order to execute this SQL code, we need to write this command which is migrate. Py manage.py migrate. It means we are going to execute our SQL code. So here it will create the table. Here it will create the table. Okay, so will create the H table inside the database, because all the records will be stored in the form of table. I mean row and column. Okay. So here you will see three columns. One is for ID. Okay, one is for ID. Second is for name, and the third one is for roll. Okay. So the first one is for ID. Second is for name, and the third one is for roll. Okay. So whatever information will come will store here. And let's suppose there is a there is a form, student form. Okay, there is a student form, student form dot html. So this is what HTML file only. And on this HTML file, let's suppose you have fields. You have fields like name. Okay, name, and the second field is for roll number. One is for name. Okay, one is for name, and second one is for roll number, right? So whatever information will stored by the user here, okay, suppose whatever name it is ABC, and roll number is like 20. So okay, so this information, whenever user will click, so let's suppose this is the, that is the button. Okay. So there is a button somewhere. Okay, so once the user will click on the submit button, so what will happen? These entries will store inside what database. Okay, so this entry will be stored inside the database, right, in the form of table. Okay, so this is the flow, guys. So what we need to do, we need to create the model class, right? And that model class will contain the Python code, because Python developer or Django developer know how to write the Python code, how to write the Django code in Django or Python. Okay, but it is a bit difficult to write the SQL code. Okay, it's a bit difficult to write SQL code. Okay, so for the Python developer, it is a bit difficult to write the SQL code. So that is why Django provide us one tool which is migrations, which through we can write Python code only, and that Python code will be converted into what SQL code with the help of this migration tool. Okay, so let's create the project. Let's create the model project. So okay, so the steps to create the model project. So let's see. So steps to create model project. Okay, so what is the first step? Step one, create project. So the command to create the project is Django admin start project and the project name. The project name, let's suppose model project. Now the second step is okay. So we already know we need to change the directory. So I'm not writing the step to change the directory. Second step I'm writing as create an application. So we already know how to create an application. Create an application. Okay. So in order to create the application, we need to write this command py manage.py start app and the application name. Let's suppose the application name is test app, right? So once you have created your application, now what we need to do, step 3, add application in settings.py. So in settings.py there is one file called installed apps. So here you will see one list of installed apps. Okay, so here we have to ignore the already installed app. We have to write our application name. So what is our application name? Test app. So this is how we can register our application. After that, what is the next step? Next step is we will create the model class. Step 4, create model class, right? To store data permanent, right? So, so what we will do, we will write the code in models.py file. So the file name will be models.py. Okay. So in this file, what we will do, we will write the code. Okay. So what code we will write? We will create a class. Okay, so class and class name is, let's suppose, student. Okay. And if it is the student class, it should inherit by the model class. Okay, so model is what? The parent class. But model class is not directly available. So what we need to do? We have to write the package name models.model, right? And here we will write the fields. Fields are nothing but columns. Whatever column you will use in the table, that column name we will write. So here I want name and roll number. Name and roll number I want. Okay, so for name, what I will do, I will write here name equals to the data type of the name. So I will say here the name will be character field. So models dot char field. Okay, so whenever you are writing character field, we need to give here length. Maximum length is, let's suppose, 40. 40 characters user can enter. Maximum 40 characters it can hold. And this roll number, here I will write models dot which field? Integer. Okay, so this is what? Integer field, right? Okay, so after that, step fifth step is what? We will, okay, step fifth is we need to register our model in admin. Okay, register models in admin.py file. Okay, so why we are registering our model into the admin.py file? So that we can insert the data. Okay, because Django provide us by default admin panel. So from the admin panel, we will store the data inside what model. As I have already shown you here. Okay, so you can see here what we need to do. We need to store the data inside the database. So in order to store the data inside the database, either you can create the HTML form, okay, or we can use the Django form, which we haven't started yet about the Django form. So what I will do, I will take the help of admin panel. So from the admin panel, we will store the data inside the database. So that is why we need to register our model into the admin. Okay, and step 6 is what? Step 6 is, okay, create super user. Okay, because once you are registering your model in admin, so you should have admin credential. To log in as an admin, you should have login credential of admin. So in order to get the login details of the admin, what we are doing, we are creating a super user. Okay, so when we will create the super user, so we will have the username and password. That username will be the admin name and the password will be the admin panel password. Okay, and the seventh step is, okay, uh, convert model class code into SQL code. So what is the command here we need to follow to convert it? We will write py manage.py make migration. Okay, make migration. So there should not be any space between make and migration. Okay, and the next step is, okay, so the next step is step 8. Step 8, execute execute that converted SQL code. So in order to execute that converted SQL code, we need to write here. What do we need to write? We will write one command which is py manage.py. Okay, and write here migrate. Okay, so this make migration will convert Python code into SQL code, and this will execute our SQL code and convert and create the table inside the database, right? Okay, so let's do these all steps all together. Okay, and we'll finish this class after creating this model project. Okay, so the first step is, so let me just open here VS Code. So go to the file, go to the open a folder, okay, and create here a new folder which is day 15. Okay, and select this folder. So we got the new interface. Okay, so now just open the command, or we can say just open the new terminal and write the command. So what is the first command? The first command we will write, create the Django project. So just copy this and paste it. So Django project has created, and inside this project what we need to do, we need to create the application. So if you will write this command here, definitely error will come. What it is saying, no such file and directory. Which file? There is no such file called manage.py, but you are seeing manage.py file is there. But actually, what is the location? Your location is day 15, but manage.py file is inside the model project. So that's why we need to change the location. So cd model project. Okay, now we can execute the command. So now you can write the command manage.py, right? So it has created our test app. So once we got the test app, now what we need to do, add application in settings.py. Okay, so we need to add the application in the settings.py. So go to the settings.py file, okay, and here just write your application. The normal steps as we are doing from day one. Okay, so now what we have to do, create a model class to store the data permanently. Okay, so create the model class. So where you will see this model class and where exactly we have to create the model class. So when you open the test app, so here you will see one models.py file. So here we have to create, here we have to write our model class code. So what is the code we need to write? We will write the class keyword. Okay, after writing the class keyword, what we will write? The class name. Class name is nothing but model name. So always write the class name with capital letter. Okay, and this should be inherit from models.model, right? And here how many fields we want to create? We want to create roll number and name. Okay, roll number and name we want to. Okay, so write here roll number and write here name, right? So roll number, mention the data type of roll number. So it should be the type of models dot which field, integer field, and the name should be the type of models dot which field, character field. So the moment you are writing character field, okay, so you need to mention the maximum length as well. So maximum length like 40 character. Okay, so once we have done with model class, what we need to do next? Register model in admin.py file. So where is the admin.py file? You can see here is our admin.py file. In the test app folder, we have admin.py file. So here we have to register the model. So in order to register the model, we have the command admin.site.register. Okay, and here you have to write the model. So what is the model name? What is our model name? Can you please tell me, guys? What is the model name?
Student.
Yes. So we have student model. So mention the name which is student. Okay, but what it is saying, student is not defined. So student is not defined. Obviously, student is not defined here because student is defined in models.py. So we need the access of this code here in admin. So what I will do, I will say from the test app. From the test app, import what? Import the student, right? So now it is not showing any error, right? So okay, let's suppose if I run the server, py manage.py run server. Okay, I'm writing this command to show you something. Okay, so what it is saying, test app. Okay, so from test app dot models, it is saying from the test app what which file we have to go, inside which file you have to go, because in the test app we have multiple files. So specifically we need to say in the models. Okay, so now server is started, no error. Just copy this, go to the browser and run this. Okay, so we are getting this default page. Let's go to the admin page. So okay, so it is not showing admin as of now. So what we will do, we will create the super user. Okay, we will create the super user for the admin. So py manage.py. Okay, so create super user. Okay, it should be right, it should be written in single word. Okay, okay, so before creating the super user, I guess we need to first of all, we need to write the command which is make migration. Py manage.py make migrations. Okay, and py manage.py migrate. Okay, because what we are doing, this model, we are converting this model into what, into the SQL code. So that's why migrate also we need to write. Okay, so it will create all the required table. Okay, so now run the server. Okay, check here. So we are getting the admin page, admin login page we are getting. Okay, Django admin page we are getting, but we don't know what is the username and password. So in order to create the username and password for this admin, what we need to do, we need to write the super user command. So which command? Create super user. So py manage.py create super user. Okay, it is asking the username. Okay, so username I'm writing here Django, and email I'm not writing, password I'm writing 123 and it is saying it is too short and too weak, so I want to proceed with it. Okay, so our super user has been created and also we have registered our model. So now run the server. Okay, and go here. Now refresh it. Now we have username and password as well. So what is the username? We have given Django. What is the password? We have given 123. So just click on login. Okay, so once we will click to the login, so what it's saying, welcome Django. Django means the username. Okay, and it is showing us test app. Test app is our application. In the test app we have created one model. Okay, so what we have created, we have created one model. So if you will click on this student model, you will see there is no data. What it is saying, zero student. Okay, so if you want to store the data in the database, you will click on this add student. Okay, and here you can say 101 and this is Nobita. Okay, and you can save this. Okay, so one student has been added. One is record has been inserted into what? Into this data, into the student model, right? And if you want to see this also here, so here you can see we have default database which is SQLite 3. What is the database name? SQLite 3. So inside the SQLite 3 database, okay, so here you will see one test step underscore student. So this is our model. Okay, so here in our model we are getting one entry which is roll number ID. See, I said it add by default one column which is ID. Okay, and these two columns created by us which is roll number and name, and this is the default one. So as you can see here also, but you will, when you click on this db.sqlite, you cannot see this interface. So in order to see this interface, you need to install one package, I mean one extension which is SQLite 3. Okay, so what you can do, you can go with this SQLite viewer. SQLite viewer you can install. Okay, then you can see the all the entries which is there inside the database by clicking on this db.sqlite3, and here you will see in last the table, right? Okay. So so what we have to do, once we have created this model, we have to write which command? These commands. We need to perform these commands first. After creating the model, we have to create these commands. Okay, so this is not the seventh, this is the fifth. Fifth one is this, and the sixth one is this. Seventh one is this, and eighth one is this. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. Please practice it. Okay, watch the recording as well and practice it. And tomorrow we will solve one assignment and with mini project. Okay, based on this model class. Okay, so thank you guys for giving your valuable time. Okay, so we will see more about the model class in the next lecture.